Hey, it's James Nicholson, I hope you're well, and in this video I want to talk about why my first business failed and what you can learn from that to make sure you don't have the similar situation happening in your business. Now, I'm going to assume if you're watching a video like this that you're a business owner, a coach, consultant, entrepreneur, or someone looking to start a business very, very soon. Now, if that is you, while you're here, please make sure you smash the like button on this video. Also smash the subscribe button and hit the bell notification. I have got new content every day on funding, growing and scaling a business. So you're not going to want to miss everything that I've got to share with you on this channel. Now, my name is James Nicholson and I've been in business for 17 years now. I've had all the ups and all the downs that you go through as an entrepreneur. And I want to share with you something very, very detailed about what happened to me many, many years ago in my business and how that can help you to not have issues. Now, I started in business 17 years ago, as I said, and at the time I'd just recently been backpacking around Southeast Asia, came back and I was working as a recruitment consultant for a number of years. Now, I knew then that I just didn't want to work for someone ever again. I was sick of it. The only reason I was working for someone was because I just had a year out backpacking and I needed to get some funds into the bank and I didn't really know what I wanted to do as a business. Now, while I was traveling, I met a guy who had an iPod. And at the time, we used to buy CDs. When we were backpacking around Asia, you'd get all these fake CDs for like £1 on these stores, and you'd have a Discman and you'd go through tons of batteries. And I had stacks of CDs like this in my backpack that took up so much space, but you needed it because sometimes backpacking we were traveling for 20 hours or even days at a time, and you needed something to occupy you because you didn't have iPhones and internet everywhere like we do today. And so I met this guy and saw this iPod and he was like, hey, look at this, I've just got this new gadget. And the iPod at the time fitted 1,000 songs in his pocket. And I was just blown away. I was like, wow, I love gadgets. I need to get one of those. So when I got back and I was working in recruitment, I bought an iPod and I needed a case for it because they were quite fragile back then. And so I bought a case. The big brand back then was called iSkin. And I contacted iSkin, so on the back of the packaging they had a website, and I contacted them and I said, look, I'm interested in potentially selling some of these. Is there any way I can buy a small amount and just see if I can sell them and come back and buy some more? And they said, yeah, we've got a distributor in the UK. These are the guys, go and contact them. So contacting the distributor, bought a small little order, couple of £100 I think it was, and then went to work to try and sell them. Didn't really know what I was going to do, but I was just going to figure it out. So I was Googling all night and I found that, look, one way to sell them would be eBay, one way to sell them would be Amazon, and one way to sell them would be a website, right? So I put them on all of those. I remember we had a website builder. It was a real clunky thing back then. I think it was called EKM PowerShop. And so we launched in all these different places, and every single day I started to sell cases. And it was quite powerful. And so every day I would get orders in and I'd get my money in from PayPal or wherever it was back then. And I'd reinvest it in more cases and more stock. Then I went to the supplier and I said, this is brilliant. What else do you sell? So I started selling speakers, headphones, and all these other products as well, and started launching those and getting more and more sales into the business, which was really, really, really useful for me as an entrepreneur at the time. And so after a couple of months, I was getting these huge deliveries into the recruitment office that I was working at lunch. And so I'd quickly at lunchtime run out the back and put them in my car. And then luckily the manager was quite reasonable there, gave me keys to the office. And then at the end of the day, I'd have to do a few journeys back and forth back to my flat and then go and pack cases all evening and list new ones and market new stuff every evening. And so it got to a point where I was making as equal money that I was with my job, and I decided to take the risk and go all in. And so the first week I started working at home. Everything was going fantastic, but I just thought I can't live in a flat and have all these boxes with cases everywhere. So I started looking for an office. And then we got an office and we started getting lots busier and busier and busier constantly. Within 4 weeks of going out on my own, I actually had to hire someone to help me with the orders because I could see that if they could pack the orders, I could do more marketing and get more sales, and that was going to be a better use of my time. So I did that, hired a guy called Lee Boggis, and then we set to task on growing the business. And then it got busier and busier and busier. And within the first year, we got it up to like 6 or 7 staff in that business, which was really, really impressive. Now, one of the guys that came and worked for us at the time was, he's actually an England rugby player now, a guy called George Cruz. And I remember he came and worked for us, and it's so funny when you see him play rugby now. He's a huge guy, lives in Dorking, where I'm from. And he was tiny when he worked for me. He was tall, but he wasn't a stocky guy. He played rugby as a teenager, but I don't recall him saying that he was particularly passionate about joining like a big team or anything like that. But it was amazing what he went on and did shortly after working with us. So the business was going really well. We built the sales up to £2 million a year in sales, which was really good. Now, where we started to go wrong was we had all our eggs in one basket. So we had 3 main clients. One was Google, that was really our client because that was getting us leads to our website. And that was reliant on SEO, which is ranking on the search engines. Another was eBay and another was Amazon. Now, Amazon at that time had started to explode and really start to get traction. And we were invited to be a partner with Amazon on what now is really their Prime or their Amazon fulfillment by Amazon, right? And we were one of the pilot companies. And so we were selling some weeks £1,000 a week on there, which was all right. And then as soon as we joined this partnership with Amazon, it went bang, straight up tens of thousands of pounds in a week overnight. It was insane, right? And then we had to hire loads of staff. At Christmas time, we'd have 20, 25 people packing these iPod accessories all through the night. It was absolutely bonkers. Good fun. Now, Amazon was one of our key clients. We were doing 2 million in sales. Half of the sales were coming on Amazon. So $1 million was coming from eBay and our website, and $1 million was coming from Amazon. Now, feedback is important on those platforms. I'm sure you'd agree, right? And so we would always work to have 100% feedback, but we were selling thousands of items a week, sometimes a day. And that meant that we couldn't always make everyone happy. Sometimes things would get broken in the post, or they didn't arrive as they expected, right? Or they got delayed or whatever. And so sometimes people would leave you a bad feedback. And so we would reach out to those people and try and resolve that issue with them, try and offer refunds, credits, like additional products or replacements or whatever it needed. And most people were pretty reasonable, and if they felt that, it was a bit unfair, their feedback, they would remove it. Now, one guy, he got a laptop mouse smashed in the post. It arrived totally broken. We saw all the pictures of it. Wasn't great. So we reached out, said, look, can we get you a new mouse? Can we help you with anything? Like, we got him a next day delivery mouse. And we asked him, look, would you consider removing the feedback? Now, he felt that we were bribing him. He felt that we only replaced the mouse because he put a negative feedback. And we were corresponding on email. He sent all our correspondence to Amazon, to the head office. He was a solicitor, and he said, these guys are breaking this policy in your sellers policy, and you should remove them from the platform, which was a bit overkill, really. And he highlighted that, and they agreed with him because Amazon is very strict because they need to protect the consumers. And so they would rather just get rid of a seller that they had any issues with rather than let them figure it out. Right? And so they suspended my Amazon account, and on that day I had 55 grand in the account. Right? I'm sure you've had days in business where you've had a really difficult time and then something doesn't get paid or something happens like that. Well, on this day I lost 55 grand that Amazon were going to hold for 6 months, plus I lost half of my sales overnight. And the lesson from this is that I was over reliant on one income source. Whereas now I spread my risk around. I don't just rely on Facebook ads. I don't just rely on YouTube. I don't just rely on Google, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I make sure that I have as many options as I can to get leads and sales into my business, because one of those at any point could get taken away. People get banned on Facebook ads. People get banned on YouTube and Google all the time, and that's out of my control. So I must make sure that I'm protected by that. Now, as a business owner, I want you to think about this here today. Is there just one major income source for your business? If any income source is more than 10% worry. Make sure that you don't necessarily get rid of that income source, but make sure that you have other additional income sources as well, right? And so if you follow along on this channel, we'll talk about all sorts of things like a product ladder, adding additional products and services into your business, adding additional streams of leads into your business. But I just wanted to share with you how when you don't get this right, that business went from 2 million in sales to 1 million straight away. In 3 months later, it was actually closed because I was still profitable, but I had a cash flow issue. I ran out of cash. I had loads of stock in my warehouse that I couldn't sell because it only sold on Amazon. That cash I could not recoup, and ultimately I couldn't pay my bills on time, which was very, very frustrating. And that is an important lesson. So look, I hope you found this useful. Let me know in the comments any questions you've got. I'd love to personally reply to all of your comments, so do comment below. And look, if you want to be really serious about getting different lead sources in your business, how about we get that sorted today in your business for just £1, right? I've just recently launched something called my Business Growth Club. It gives you access to all of my master plans, everything that you need to get customers and keep customers and grow a business. Now, in the description of this video is a link where you can grab a £1 trial to the Business Growth Club. You'll get my master plans and checklists. Not only that, you'll get a live session with me every week. I'm just about to do one right now on content marketing with all the Business Growth Club members. Plus, you'll get to join our community of hundreds of entrepreneurs just like you who can give you shortcuts. Maybe you've got questions that they can give you the shortcuts to. Tax questions, marketing questions. I don't know what it is that you need help with right now, but I do know it's worth for £1 giving it a shot. If it's not for you, you cancel anytime. So go and check it out at least in the description below. Go and click on the link now and I'll see you on the next page. Thanks for watching. I hope that's been interesting and gets you to know me that little bit better. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye for now.